morning. It's Ginny and Tim at DS Tech.
Morning.
And we're going to talk about Microsoft Recall again because we have more information and more security concerns.
Yeah.
And what is Microsoft Recall? We'll describe what that is first in case you missed the other episodes. And if you want to catch them, go to our YouTube channel and find them. Go to our website, sign up for our newsletter so you don't miss anything. And stay till the end. Ask your questions so that we can answer them.
Yes.
And if you need help, reach out. Anyway, that's way too many CTAs, eh?
Yeah.
But oh well.
That's okay.
We're breaking the marketing rules today.
Yes.
What do we got? What is Microsoft Recall first?
Yeah, so a quick explanation. Microsoft Recall is a feature that Microsoft is having where, I guess I'll just read this little blurb. You know, what if your laptop silently took a screenshot every few seconds, even when you're entering passwords and shopping online and saved it all? Well, it's not a virus. It's kind of the new feature called Microsoft Recall. It's enabled in some new Windows laptops. And ideally, to its credit, the researchers have been testing it and stress testing it. It does a pretty good job. Like 90% of the time, it stripped out credit card numbers, passwords, social security numbers, and all that kind of stuff and left you screenshots with stuff like missing. But it's that 10% where it will still catch. That's kind of concerning. So we'll kind of go into that.
I don't want 90%. I want 100%.
Exactly. So so basically the main idea was if you were a user, you have your internet history. Well, the idea is that you have your computer history. So you could basically go back anytime, like what was I doing last Thursday? And you could actually see not just the history, but screenshots, maybe help you figure out what you were doing, things like that. So I get the idea with it, but
I can see where that would be helpful.
It could be like, what was I doing on, I know I talked to Ginny on last Thursday, but I forget exactly what or what was the image, you know, and it could be useful in certain scenarios.
Or I chatted with Aaron last week, and I totally know there's something in that conversation I was supposed to do for him, but I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. And you're searching the text, and it's not quite finding the right conversation.
Will you find it for me?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that, but...
But the unfortunate thing is I have to weigh the risks, the benefits with the security concerns, and the security concern of potentially leaking customer data or sensitive information is so high of a concern that unless the benefit is just like astronomical, it doesn't seem to match. So basically what Microsoft markets as memory for your computer, letting you recall anything you've seen. It was mainly introduced with Copilot Plus PCs starting in mid-2024. It records screenshots on your screen every 5 seconds. AI will help search for what you're doing. Show me the website I visited about taxes last Thursday or whatever. Everything is stored locally, but they're claiming it's not encrypted at rest yet. So again, maybe that could be changing. Maybe it's not fully done. But
what does that mean?
Meaning that if someone were to get onto your computer and access those screenshots, they can actually like download them and look at them without like a separate password to get into them or to decrypt them. So what you may do is you may download files onto your computer and they're stored in a way that if you just try to open that file by itself, it won't give you any information unless you had the unlocking key to it. But if it's not encrypted at rest, then there's no key and you can just browse them. But I feel that's hard. I think that would be at least something they're trying to do. So it's not just a theoretical risk. Real world tests show it has been capturing sensitive data. Again, to its credit, it was doing a good job 90% of the time, 95% of the time even. But it did manage to capture like a credit card number typed into a website. They noticed that if the website form said credit card, CC, or a sign of keywords, it would always block the credit card. But an example is if you open a Word document, just put a credit card number in there, it has no idea it's a credit card number and it's capturing that data. Same thing with a social security number is if there's an obvious field that says like social security number or SSN or something like that, and it's like a 324, it's like a government form, it'll be smart and always block that every time. But if you just had a Word document with a SSN number or some other program that is not known, again, that 1% chance that it even misses to me is too much. So until it's 100% foolproof, I don't want it taking pictures of anything, especially if you're dealing with any sort of sensitive data on your computer.
Did you say it's automatically enabled on the Copilot Plus PC?
During your setup. So if you start up your computer, like it has like, hello, welcome to Windows, and to your email, there's kind of all those starting steps that it walks you through when you first get your computer. Part of that will say Microsoft Recall, this new feature, all this other stuff. You can opt out right at that point, and it won't even be installed on your computer. Now, if you've already had your Copilot Plus computer, you've already kind of set it up a little bit. That does go into, there is an ability.
We're going to get into it.
Yeah,
okay.
But basically, you can disable it. If you want to know the exact spot, it's under Settings, Privacy and Security, and then Recall and Snapshots.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have that section under Privacy and Security, well, it's not installed. You don't have to worry about anything. But if you do have that section in there, you can disable it. And then keep in mind that's only stopping it from going forward. You still want to go back and delete all the existing images that it may have already stored on your computer.
Good
and
point.
that does have a specific file path. You could Google it as well, read it out here if you're just curious, but basically it's under your C users folder, under your name and your app data, local, Microsoft, Windows, and recall folder. So you kind of navigate all the way down to that folder. There should be a bunch of your stuff in there, and then just delete it out if you don't want it. So those are the two things to kind of clean up if you already had it enabled.
If you want this, I have the document on my computer. If you drop a question and you want those instructions, I'll just send them to you.
Yeah, you can even, yeah.
I might even do a blog post, so make sure you subscribe to our newsletter.
Yeah. So this one, a researcher typed in a full AM Express number onto a checkout page, and Recall stored it clearly alongside the expiration date in the CCW. That was just one example from an article that they had done. So again, 99% of the time, it could be great blocking all the credit card numbers, but it's that 1% where it's got something. Or an example was they said for PayPal, they were logging into PayPal. Well, it blocked the number or the password and some other information on the account pages, but it still showed the email used to log in. Well, if you have the email used to log into a PayPal account, that's already some information. An attacker piece little bits of information together to still try to do various things. So,
or use the databases of information they have to
that's
link
already
together.
Out there. Exactly. It's So my advice is just to disable it. Don't have it enabled. There's no the use case just does not outweigh the risk at this point. So this talks about who's got the ticking privacy bomb. So again, it's only in Copilot Plus PCs, specifically the new ARM-based Windows 11 laptops like Surface Pro, Surface Laptop 7, Snapdragon X Elite laptops from Lenovo, Dell, HP. It's enabled by default, again, unless you optionally manually opt out during the setup phase. Windows Home and Pro both support it, not just Enterprise. And again, you can disable it. So in your settings, privacy and settings, Recall and snapshots, turn it off, delete your local cache, you should be good. And then for IT admins and pros, like kind of what we're doing for all of our clients is like if this starts getting rolled out to all the computers, we can use Intune, group policy. There's ways that you can do to normally manage all your computers. The same way where you're just like, we don't want Recall on our computers, and any computer connected to your domain or your company network, it was going to be turned off by default for that. So it's a very simple fix we can implement to keep your business safe, to not have it. But
I'm assuming we'll have it implemented for our clients.
Oh yeah. Once it gets to mass, it's not just on the Copilot Plus stuff. I personally think that we should just turn it off on all. There's no use case that I see where it would really be that much of a net gain to the potential concern for privacy.
At least not now.
Now, if it's encrypted at rest, that could be potentially wrong. I didn't personally test this, right? So if it's encrypted at rest, that could be a thing. There's other things they could do that will make it, a little bit more secure potentially. And if that gets to the case, then it would be kind of a neat little history feature where you open up your Copilot bot and you're like, what was I doing last Wednesday when I was working on that project with Jenny? And it kind of gives you some information with contacts, pictures, and everything. It could be useful. So again, my personal opinion at this point in time, that I feel that Microsoft Recall just kind of crosses the line in capturing everything. And even though it's trying to do a good job of minimizing that, it's too granular. Now, if you had an ability of turning on Recall instead of they call it opting out, where you have to disable certain things and it's all in. Now, if you have the other ability of opting in just what you want it to capture, I want to turn on Recall, but I'll only let it look at my Microsoft Teams. Or I'm going to turn on Recall and I only want it to look at my, I don't know, whatever program you're using, my Photoshop or certain applications. I know there's a ability to kind of disable that a little bit within there, but again, it's just not 100% there. And I potentially would use it if I could specifically say where it could be used. That could be a little bit more safer. And then you could kind of tell where.
You just have to be careful if it was Teams that you weren't.
Well, yeah, because then you still got sensitive information in Teams, messages, all kinds of stuff floating there. I was just using that as an example of
No, I was just thinking I could use it, but then I would just be careful about what I share in Teams so that it's not capturing that.
Which you should be doing anyway. There's data loss prevention things where people shouldn't be doing that stuff regardless.
That's true.
But overall, I get the idea that, for sure. So again, I feel that it's kind of a data breach waiting to happen, where if your computer is storing all this information and an attacker somehow gets into your computer and gets that trove of information, now they're going to potentially have some information to go for. So again, if you're in IT, disable this for all your new laptops. If you're an end user, check out your PC model. Again, check up that settings, privacy and security, Recall and snapshots area. And if it's not there, don't worry about it. But if it's there, that's on, I would disable it and work to clear out your cache. So
thanks to Tim, I already checked.
Pretty much that. So I would encourage you to share this with your friends and family as well. This is a newer thing too that maybe not everyone's aware of. So feel free to share the episode and just spread awareness of the Recall feature. So
one final thought. Recall. The word recall reminds me of a Black Mirror episode.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to look it up. It's kind of creepy, but anyway.
Yeah. Basically like Twilight Zone, crazy futuristic scenarios. So
yeah. But I can see it happening. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, so turn it off, I guess, for now until they make their improvements to the security holes. So make it a great day. If you have any questions about recall, then drop them. And if you want any of that information Tim shared, subscribe to our newsletter, because I'm sure I'll put a blog post out, because I'll take this transcript and create one. So perfect. Yeah, so it'll be out there. So go subscribe to our newsletter at dstech.net, and we'll see you next time.